go. Hey, I was not paying attention. This thing popped back up.
I was just signing up for a boot camp.
You know,
I'm gonna
I
go to
like
one
how
on Saturday.
I love how you're just multitasking. You know, you're just like, I'm gonna do some workout planning. I'm gonna do some grocery shopping. I'm gonna do some bills. All the good stuff.
Well, I also just logged into Discord. I have my QuickTime running.
Oh, you're ahead of me.
Do this.
It feels like it's been more than 2 weeks since we sat down to record. I feel like I say that every single time we sit down to do this, but I'm always like, it feels like it's been a long time since we've done this, but I don't think it's been that long since we've changed things up and recorded. But no, I got to tell you, so right now as we're recording this live, but our second episode of the month hasn't come out yet, which is our brand new episode of Ain't No Way, the new segment that we turned into its own episode, so that we're going weekly. And I had fun editing that one. So that one I took on the editing myself because I wasn't sure how I wanted it to sound yet. Like I was like, I don't want to just send it to our editor Steve and be like, yeah, just do whatever. Like I wanted to kind of feel it out for myself first. And I gotta say I had fun with that one. I think people will like it because I incorporated some new music into it to kind of add some little touches to it, make a little higher production value.
Do you think that should be the one that I share on my podcast?
Ooh, you could. You can pick either of them.
Okay, I need you to send me that one.
Okay, I'll send you that one. That was it was fun. So I can't wait to get some feedback on it because we've only done that style once and in Patreon. So I'm interested to see what everyone thinks about the second episode. Now that we're going
send it
every week, basically.
Okay. Are you ready to do this?
I think I am. I feel like I'm missing something. Oh, I'm not recording anything yet. That's what I need to do.
QuickTime.
Going to QuickTime now.
Discord. I'm in Discord.
QuickTime.
I'm recording on QuickTime.
My QuickTime is going now. All right, let's do the clap.
Okay.
All right. 1, 2, 3, clap. Whoa, we're way off from each other. I am
delayed.
You were way off on that clap.
I am really delayed.
But it feels like you're responding to me like in real time.
I wasn't delayed before we went live, but now I am.
What about right now?
Am I delayed?
Oh, wow. Okay. Yes, you are. This is horrible. All right, let's figure this part out before we go. Do you have a bunch of stuff open on your computer? Anything you can close that you're not using?
Fine.
Get all your tabs. You have like 12,000 tabs open right now?
No, not that many.
Yeah.
Okay, my tabs are closed. I only have our tabs open that we need. Let me close out of. Okay, everything. Okay, anything that. Let me close my calendar. Any
of the programs you don't need open?
No, the only thing open is QuickTime, Discord, my Notes app, Chrome.
Okay, all right.
That's it.
Let's try to clap again. Let's see how close we are. You ready?
Okay.
All right. I counted the wrong way. I'll count down this time. 3, 2.
Yeah, that's the reason why it messed up.
Yeah, that's the only reason why. 3, 2, 1, clap. Okay, it's better. It's better.
Oh, I don't think it's better. I will say my kids are home and they're using our internet.
Oh, that's probably what it is.
My son's playing Minecraft. My other son's on like Roblox. So.
Tell him get a book.
But listen, no. Then they're going to start fighting and arguing. They're going to be coming in here. No, we're just going to have a delay today.
Oh, well, you better be on it. And when it's your turn, you need to be talking so fast and on it that you can just cancel out your delay on your side.
I'll see what I can do.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, you're responding pretty much in real time now, so I think we're good.
Okay, great.
All right, so while it's good, let's just hop into it. Let me get my buttons here so I can push them when I need to. Because I have the opening story. This one I've been waiting. This happened to me before we went on our summer break, and I've just been waiting to tell this story. So.
Okay, well, let's dive into it. I want to hear it.
Outside. Okay. So, Allison, I live in Southern California, and I think we're notorious for just horrible drivers. Like, people just do crazy stuff out here all the time. People are either going way too slow, way too fast, looking at their phone, not going on green lights. It's a thing here. So one of my pet peeves is when you're making a right turn, you need to get as far to the right as you can before you make a right turn, right? You need to be close to the curb. You don't make the right turn from the middle of the lane. You make the right turn closer to the curb, right? Close to the sidewalk. Uh-oh, Alice is not agreeing with me, so I don't think she.
I mean, okay, just go on.
Okay, so that's how I think you should make a right turn. I feel like that's the right way because if not, you're slowing down the middle of the lane, blocking everyone else who's trying to go straight, right? So I'm pulling up to this turn I always make when I'm headed home, and the car in front of me is in the middle of the lane, like they're far over. So I'm like, oh, it's a 1 lane road. They must be going straight. They would never be turning right because they would be closer to the right side. I'm turning right, so I get over to the right. Basically, they're so far to the left of me that I could go like around them. Like there's enough room for me to pass them and
On
make
the
my right.
shoulder?
Yeah, like there's like, it's like a residential street, but they were just so far over
Oh,
to the left in the lane that I could easily pass them and make the right turn, which was what I was going to do.
okay.
So
Those lanes are big.
yeah, it was a pretty wide, like 1 lane road, 2 lane, one on each side.
Okay.
So I pull over as I'm doing and get ready to make my right turn. And then they throw on their turn signal at the last minute and just make a right turn. Like I'm almost on the side of them, and they decide, oh, I'm making a right turn. And so obviously I have to honk my horn because I'm like, what are you doing? Like you almost hit me basically. So they make the turn, they don't react, but they keep driving. And through the window, I see a tiny hand that I can only assume is a child's hand from the backseat of the car. They raise their hand up and they flip me off. Hey, this is Chris.
And this is Allison, and you're listening to This Is Awkward. And I don't know if that's a parenting win or a parenting fail.
I was like,
Because
is that a baby's hand?
The parent in that car was cussing up a storm or complaining about you, and that child has seen that hand signal before.
Those parents have road rage, and I part of me wants to believe it's just a person with a small hand. I don't want to believe that it was like a toddler in the back seat flipping me off, but the hand was very small. It was a tiny little hand. And here's the thing: it could have been just a raised hand, but it looked like a middle finger. I was pretty sure through the tinted window I was seeing a middle finger flash up in the back of that car.
This is a middle finger situation here. This is that you went into their lane. Like, were you? I'm so confused. I think you're at fault here. Hold on.
Okay, see, like, you were looking at me like, what are you talking about, Chris?
Yes, because here's my question. You're driving on the road. They're in front of you in the lane.
Mm-hmm.
And you went off the side of the road onto the shoulder to turn right?
Well, here's the thing.
How are your
California streets are different. I know in Texas you just got ditches and grass and fields on the side of your roads. But imagine it's like this.
What do you have?
So most of our streets, imagine it's just a paved street, and then on the edges of every street there's a curb and a sidewalk where people walk, right? And typically, there'd be a car. There's enough room where a car could be parked next to the curb and the cars could drive by them like this. So it's wide enough for two cars to have passed each other because you got to leave room for parked cars on the street. So what happened was they gave no indication that they were turning. No turn signal, nothing. They're just going straight. And they were going slower than they should have, but not so slow as I thought they were going to stop. So I'm like, well, I'm turning right. We're basically we're literally almost at the turn. So when I'm close to making the right turn, I pull over toward that space as long as there's no car parked there and make the turn.
Pass you.
Yeah, so because I'm slowing down the turn so people can keep going straight past me. So I assumed they were going straight.
I want to say you're in the right here now, but it all depends on this one thing. Nope.
Okay.
This
all right.
one thing.
Okay.
On this street, were there painted lines, and were you outside of the line?
What do you mean painted lines?
Painted lines showing like this is the street. Like this is the painted line, like the white line and the yellow line.
Oh, okay.
Right? The yellow line's on the left. Was there a painted white line and you drove outside of the line, or was it just empty?
It's empty. Clear? Our residential streets out here, there's just the middle. There's that yellow or white middle line, and then there's no line on your right side. It's all just this is the curb is the line.
They're in the fault.
Thank you.
You should have flipped off the toddler. I should have. Toddler deserved it.
I should have sped up, got on the side, reached in the window, stolen their goldfish, and just threw it on the street and drove away. That's what I should have done.
There you go. Absolutely. That would have been uncomfortable. That would have been weird. You probably could have ended up in some sort of weird fight or, abuse situation, which is what we don't want. But no, I can honestly say I've never had like a child flip me off from a car. So congrats.
Oh, thank you. It's something I can check off my life bucket list that being flipped off by a toddler is now on that list. And I'm not a road rage person. Like I get angry, I get irritated, but I'm not like, I'm not angrily honking down the street. I'm never flipping anybody off. I'm not doing that because people are crazy. I don't know what they got in their car. But this was so surprising that I was like, I don't know if I should be angry or if I should just laugh. I don't know what reaction I should have right now, but I just let it go. And I was like, whatever. They'll go live their lives. I'll probably never see them again.
No, hopefully not. Hopefully not. But it was awkward. It was interesting. Hopefully you'll never experience that again. And that's what we do here though, is we talk about awkward situations, specifically your awkward money situations, so that way we can help you navigate them without losing your friends, your families, or your toddlers in the process.
Yeah, please keep your toddlers, because I will call Child Protective Services on you and have your kid taken away. They flip me off again. But we love sharing. We love sharing our awkward stories here, but we also love hearing from all of you who send in your stories, and that's what makes this show great. It helps us kind of just sit and look at all the awkward stuff we're all dealing with.
Mm-hmm. And today's awkward story is a good one. Let's just say it's about making a decision for what you should do when your parent needs financial help and you're the person they want to go to for help.
Oh yeah, this is a good one. It came from one of our patrons, so we're gonna hop into that, but we're gonna take a quick break. But I've skipped over the notes because before we take a quick break, we gotta talk to you about our Patreon, where we add a little more awkwardness to your month with a couple extra bonus episodes where we can dive into all the things. That's where we dive into what we're loving. We dive into some other randomness that just happens, other awkward stories that listeners submit that don't make it onto the main feed. It's just a place where we can connect, join together, have a good time, and just be awkward and just share this crazy stuff that happens to us all.
Exactly. And you'll get, 2 extra bonus episodes a month. Mm-hmm. You can join us live for recordings. And Patreon has this new thing where you can try it out for free for 7 days.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Is that how it works? Try it out for free for 7 days. And if you like it, great. You can join us in the This Is Awkward Patreon group. And if not, that's fine. You can judge us and move on with your life.
You can flip us off and drive away. You can do it if
that's
what
you
feel like.
I love it. Well, you can join us by going to patreon.com/thisisawkwardpodcast, or just click the link in our show notes and you can get more information and sign up there.
Yeah. So now we're going to take our real break. And when we get back, we'll hop into today's awkward situation. Are we holding in that yawn the whole time?
Yes. And I had my kid standing at my door, making eye contact with me, like wanting, and I was like, no, did you see me shaking my head? I was like, no, go away.
He's like, look, I just need to borrow the keys for a quick second. I got to go to the store.
Oh, 11-year-olds driving. That would be interesting.
No.
Okay. Will you bring us back and then I'll read it?
Oh, yeah. All right. Let's do it that way.
Okay.
All right. We are back from the break. Allison, why don't you take us into today's awkward story?
Of course. So this one was actually sent in to us from Scroggy Mama. She found it online. So it's not her situation, but it's one I think that a lot of people can relate to. Here's what this says. My mom is the best mom in the world, but she is in some serious credit card debt, about $50,000. She's been trying steadily to dig herself out and has borrowed money from me in the past, $3,000, but has been unable to pay it back due to the high interest rates on the cards. She's hoping to wipe out 4 of these cards with money I can lend her, but I'm nervous. I have it, but I'm looking to move out into a big city, and I'm nervous that I might need it at some point. I'd do anything for her, but she has a history of not being super financially savvy despite her best efforts. If you have any advice on what to do on my end to loan it or not, or have any advice about relieving credit card debt, please share it. I would be immensely grateful.
Oh, this is a good one. I'm happy Scroggy put this one in the Discord. And also, just as a heads up, that's one of the benefits our patrons get. They can drop in suggestions to us in Discord, and we'll bring it up in a future episode. But with this one, man, like the first thing that popped into my mind is like it is painful to like watch someone suffer. Like they need help. You want to help them, but at the same time you're conflicted because you're like, well, I kind of need this money. I need this to take care of the stuff I need to take care of, but I really see this person struggling and I want to help. And that's such a like conflicting emotion to have, especially when it's someone that you really care about. You don't want to see them suffering.
Yes. And it's also this conflicting emotion, I think, with this mother child relationship where they might feel like they have to loan the money to their mom because it's their mom and that person cared for them for however many years of their life. So you feel like you almost owe it to them. But it's
Yeah,
also
yeah.
like flipping the traditional parent child relationship role, which can be just make you feel really weird and bring up all of these emotions. So I
Mm,
understand why this person is conflicted. Like 100%. I also understand why this person is very hesitant because she
yeah.
said, I've lent money to my mom before and have not ever received it back.
That's the thing when someone's dealing with like debt like this, right? And you've seen them just kind of not do the right things, right? They kind of keep putting themselves back in the same situation. Like, it's hard to be like, I'm going to give them some of my hard earned money that I've worked really hard to kind of save up and I've done the right things. And I'm going to hand this money off to someone. And then there's a good chance that they're just going to like blow it. Like, they're going to pay off this debt, but then immediately pull that credit card out again. And when you kind of lose
Mm-hmm.
trust for someone to do the right thing, I think it makes it even harder to want to help them because like you still like you
Yeah.
just because someone makes bad decisions doesn't mean you care about them less. But you just
Right.
like
Right.
I, I just don't want to be involved in this, right? Like I don't loop me in these bad decision making things you're doing because I
Exactly.
don't want to be a part of this.
Yeah, you're like seeing this pattern, this repeating pattern, right? And I think that that's where the writer is concerned is seeing this pattern repeat over time. And I want to talk you said that the fear is that they take this money, pay it off, and then they just rack the debt back up.
Yeah.
I think that that's one of the things when it comes to people saying like, "Oh, let me take out a loan against my 401k to pay off this credit
Mm,
card debt," or let me refinance my house and take the equity out of my house and pay off this debt. It's it's like this quick fix that is a fix,
yeah.
right? It
Yeah.
is a solution. But what happens is they're not actually changing the patterns, the spending patterns, or challenging their discipline. And so unfortunately, what ends up happening sometimes, not all the time,
Yeah.
is they end up with that lower credit card balance. And then guess what? Oh, I have more options. I have all this credit limit. And they slowly find themselves back to where they were before. I know someone who's received an inheritance, paid off their debt and or a significant portion of their credit card debt, and then got back into the same amount of credit card debt
Mm,
because the paying off the debt didn't fix the problem. The
exactly.
problem was their habits, their spending, their patterns, their discipline or lack thereof. So I completely understand this person's hesitation because if she hands over the money to pay off 4 of her credit cards, the money that she probably needs to relocate to a different city, it's that quick fix, it's that band-aid. And
Yeah.
there's a chance that her mom could end up in the same exact position in 2 to 3 years.
Exactly. Because it's like you said when you don't change any of your habits, right? Like just getting rid of it. Your problem wasn't that you were like, okay, I had a moment of weakness and I spent all this money and it's completely out of character. I don't normally do this, but I had an
Right.
emergency. I had these things. Like sometimes it does happen. It's like a one time thing, but a lot of us, I've been there too, where it's like you just spend money. Like you know you shouldn't, but you just do it anyways. And next thing you know,
Yep.
it's kind of gotten out of control. And it's kind of hard. I mean, it's hard for the person asking for help because I'm sure they're embarrassed, but at the same time,
Mhm.
hopefully they're understanding as to why someone would be hesitant to help them out, given what's
Mhm.
going on, because it's like it's so easy to fall back into these habits. It kind of reminds me of like you see these like check cashing places, especially like in lower income
Mm.
neighborhoods. Like where I grew up, I would see like just check cashing places, liquor stores all over the place, and it's like they're just like preying on the situation that people find
Mhm.
themselves in, where either
Yeah.
they're struggling each month to make ends meet just because they don't have enough money and the bills are getting higher, or they kind of fall into this loop, this trap of, well,
Mhm.
okay, I want to do these things. I really enjoy these things. I want to do these things for myself. And the only way I can do it is kind of just, I just need a little extra money. And you kind of like, you go pay this high interest rate, get a little bit of money. It costs you to go back again. And it forces you into this loop
Yep.
of paying all this interest, needing money to pay off the money you already borrowed. And it kind of just cycles out of control. And
It's
it's
like
kind
it's a really scary tornado. It's like a cyclone coming
yes.
into your life. It's like Hurricane Harvey. You see, Hurricane Harvey, when it hit Houston, it wasn't that the hurricane was this strong force. The issue was that it kept circling over Houston. It never moved
Mm,
past the city. So it just kept circling and circling and circling and dumping water and tornadoes and everything everywhere. And it was just following this repeated pattern of circling around the same city. That's like this, kind of, sort of, maybe, no?
A little bit, yeah, a little bit. You're stuck in that cycle. You can't get out of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
So I want to know though, Chris,
okay,
what do you think she should do? Do you
ooh,
think she should lend the money to her mom, or like just yes or no?
see, I want to give a yes or no answer, but then I'm like, but there's so much to this. It's so complicated. I would say, because they didn't say how much money the person needed. Like, I don't think they're going to give them the full $50,000. I don't think that's what they're saying. Like, they're going to
I
give
don't
them.
think so either,
Okay.
because she said she's hoping to wipe out 4 of the credit cards
Okay.
with the money. So I think she has more than 4 credit cards.
Got it. So we don't know exactly how much that would be, but it sounds like it's probably going to be a considerable amount of money.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just say, probably over, let's say $10,000, probably in that ballpark,
Mm-hmm.
around there.
Okay.
My reaction would be, do not do this. Like, do not
Mm-hmm.
give them all that money. What I would do is, if this person, like if it was my mom and she was struggling in this situation, I would be like, I can help you with some of like your day-to-day stuff. Like if you need groceries, let me help you out with that. If you're going to get evicted and maybe you need a little help with like your rent or your mortgage right now, I can help you on those terms, but not on this grand scale.
If you're gonna be homeless, I guess I can help you, Mom.
No, not like,
Like,
not
golly,
like
Mama
that.
Browning. She basically, Chris is gonna let his mom get to the point
That
where
is
she's
not what
about
I
to
said.
be evicted. You just said it.
No, I said,
If you're about to be evicted, I guess I'll help you.
not in that. Okay. What
I'll help you pay off some of that debt to the landlord. I guess it's either
Oh,
that or the streets.
look, hey, you made choices, Mom. No, it's more so I'm gonna help you, my family, not go hungry and not be homeless, but I'm not gonna pay off like large chunks of their debt. That would be kind of the deal I could strike. But I would need them to handle some other thing. I need them to make some changes on their end. Like I need some other reassurance that they're working on some other stuff, because I'm not in the business of taking on dependents. Like I'm not trying to support another adult. So
Especially dependents that are older than you.
yeah, exactly. So like
and
I
are
don't
supposed
want
to be independent.
yeah, I was a dependent, but yeah, like I'm okay with helping family, but I'm not like I don't want this to be like a thing where this is just what I do now. Like I'm constantly now helping this person out, because it is going to eventually start to impact your life and your finances and make it a lot harder for
Yes.
you to do the things you need to do.
Mm-hmm.
What about you? How do you
Okay.
feel about this? What are your thoughts?
I think that she should not give her a significant amount of money. She said in her letter, she said, "I'm nervous. I have it, but I'm looking to move into a big city, and I'm nervous I might need it at some point." Yes, she is going to need it at some point.
Yeah,
I don't
something's
think
going to
that
come
she
up.
should drain her emergency fund for this. What I think would be a very like generous offer here would be to say, like, "Mom, which credit card has the lowest balance? I will happily pay that off for you so
Mm,
you can free up that minimum payment every month and then move forward from there." And now you have this freed up minimum payment, and you can, you know, go ahead and take that and roll it into your next debt that you're focusing on. So maybe the lowest card is $1,000. Maybe there's $1,000 balance on it. Say like, okay, I'll pay off your lowest one to kind of give you a little head start on this. And then I would also look into finding ways to connect her with some sort of like nonprofit credit counseling. And don't sit there and do it for her, but give her
no.
the information and say, "Hey, let's log into this together and set up a time for you to meet with someone, and then they can help you. These people can help you that are truly trained at this and
Mm,
know of different programs and options that maybe the person who wrote in doesn't know about." And then she can take it from there, because ultimately it
mm.
is her, the mom has to own it fully, which it sounds like she is.
Yeah.
But I think that could be a way to still feel like she's helping her mom, but not to her own detriment when it comes to needing an emergency fund, needing a rainy day fund, and putting herself in a situation where she might have to go into credit card debt when she's moving to a higher cost of living area.
Yeah, that's a good point. I like that, because there's even something out there called the National Foundation for Credit Counseling. It's not
Hmm.
free, but they can kind of help you come together with a plan, figure out how to strategize to pay it off the debt, figure out if you need like do some type of consolidation, what debt you should you focus on, things like that. So I like that. And also I was looking at the description again, and it doesn't necessarily say that she's kind of going in and out of debt, like she's paying it off and then going back in. So maybe I don't want to frame it like that if that's not the case with this person. It kind of sounds like she just got herself into $50,000 of credit card debt, and the interest is just so high that it's hard for her to kind of get out of that cycle, because it's like, she's probably accumulating like a huge amount of debt or of interest every month, right, on $50,000. So yeah, in this situation, I want to categorize it as maybe this person has like a spending problem. And in that case, your solution, I like that idea. Like, here, let me help you out with something small. Like, I can't take on all of this, but I can take on a little bit, and maybe that'll free up some more cash. That minimum payment's gone for that card. Now you can move it on to something else and move it through there. And I think too, with like some outside help, because sometimes it's hard to be like the firm person with the rules and like telling your parent what to do. Like, that's kind of a hard position to be in, because they may or may not even care what you're talking about.
Exactly.
And so getting a third person in can kind of help with that, to kind of take some of the pressure off of you to be the one to be like, you need to make some changes and you need to kind of get your stuff in order here.
Exactly. I think ultimately, like, there need to be some clear boundaries. You're not her parent.
Yeah.
She's your parent. So there's that dynamic that dynamic there. And then also just saying, like, here's what I'm willing to do. I'll pay off this one credit card for you. I'm willing to do that as long as you sit down with these other people that can offer you more support so that you can get yourself out of that situation. I think kind of framing it like that, and then saying, like, after this, I can't not bail you out, but I can't necessarily offer continued support. I think that just being very clear about that in a very kind and gentle way, but very clear. Like, not like, oh, I'll pay off this credit card for you and we'll see how you do, Mom. No, because if there's any room for that, there could be, not that the mom would intentionally see it as something different, but if there's any kind of gray there could be an unintentional miscommunication that can take place.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you want to be clear that this is what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. Here are the limits on what it is that I'm doing.
Yes. I have a question for you.
Oh yeah, go for it.
Do you think that someone in this type of situation, they've amassed this credit card debt, they are trying to pay it off. Do you think that whenever they are done, they have actually paid off the credit card, that they should close it? What is your belief there?
Oh man. Okay, I'm torn on this, because one part of me is like, look, that's gonna hurt your credit score if you close out all your credit cards. Like, that could have an impact on that side. But also the other part of me is like, well, look, if you know you're tempted, right? Like, I cannot responsibly handle this credit card. I'm going to do this again. Regardless of the impact on your credit, you got to get away from that. Like, you got to get that thing out of your hands and stop worrying about it. Don't use it, because it's like, you have to know yourself, right? And sometimes, even if there's benefits to keeping it open, there's too many negatives associated with it. Like, it's too much other baggage with that, and you just got to get that away from yourself. Maybe a couple years down the road, you'll feel a little bit better. But it's like credit cards are like one of those, I don't even want to call it like a necessary evil, but it's one of those things that, we don't need credit cards, right? Like, credit cards don't have to exist. They do. They're here. They're not going anywhere.
For a while.
Yeah, for years. Like, they're not even that old. Like, they haven't even been around for that long. And it's almost like the net impact of credit cards is negative on the world. Like, there's so much good. Like, I can buy stuff online. I can not worry about fraud as much. I get all these other protections.
Yes.
Yeah, there's all these benefits, but there's a huge downside to the existence of credit cards that have ruined a lot of people's lives. So I almost want to be like, look, you can worry about your credit a little bit later. Like, if you're not buying a house or doing something, like, if you already have credit established and you really don't need to do anything right now, get rid of those things and then just think about it a little bit later. That's what I would say. What do you feel?
Okay, now for anyone that's listening, can you explain really briefly why closing a credit card would actually have a negative impact on your credit score? Because I know that years ago, when I was first learning about money, I figured if I closed a credit card, my credit score would go up because I would be like, oh, look, I don't need it. Look how responsible I am, right?
Yeah.
So can you explain that for anyone that's listening that's like, wait a minute, what? If I close a credit card, it can have a negative impact on my credit score?
Yeah, there's like 5 big categories for how they calculate your credit score, but there's a two that would be like directly impacted by closing a credit card. So one that makes up about, I think it's like 15% of your credit score is the age of your lines of credit, right? They call it like age of credit, credit history, age, something. There's a bunch of random terms they use to describe it.
History.
But essentially what it does, it looks at two things. It looks at how old is your oldest line of credit. So like, the one you opened up when you're 18 and then you've kept it open until now, like that's going to be the oldest line of credit you have. And the longer that history gets, the older that line gets, the better it is for your credit score. And then the other part is like the average of all of the lines of credit you have, like how old are all those lines averaged out. And when you start closing credit cards, you basically cut off the history on those. So you could be closing the card with your oldest history, which would be basically gone now, and it's going to be have to referring to another line of credit. And also you're basically shortening the average as you start to close these lines of credit because they're no longer going to extend out that age. And then the other thing is something called credit mix, which is about 10% of your score. And that one, they look at, can you manage different types of credit? So one is like revolving debt, which would be credit cards. And then the other one is installment debt, which would be things like auto loans and mortgages. And they're called installment because you pay them like in installments, like set payments. With revolving, it's like a revolving door. You can keep using it and paying it off over and over.
Yeah.
And when you don't have one of those or either of them, that can cause an impact to your score. It's minor, but it can, it can dip a little bit. Like I paid off my car and then I have no more installment debt now because I don't have a mortgage. So my credit score took a little bit of a dip. It did recover it eventually, but those are the areas that it could be impacted by you going through and just like cutting off all those lines of credit.
Yeah. Yes. And I remember when I was paying off debt and we had paid off like my student loan for the first time and my credit score went down. I was like, FICO is really confused right now because I was like, I'm doing better. So
exactly.
But it is like you said, it's temporary. It's just a formula is what it is. So, okay. Well, I love your explanation of all of that. I think that people would enjoy that. And I think like, I love the idea of offering to pay one credit card for the mom and then just setting up with some sort of a solution, nonprofit, credit counseling. Because like you said, you did say that credit cards have ruined a lot of people's lives. And usually it comes down to either a lack of education about the impact that those interest rates can have. And then sometimes it's this like a survival at times. If someone loses their job and they're having to put their food at the grocery store on credit cards and they get into this cycle. So I think that by going through it and making sure that she's speaking with someone from a nonprofit, some sort of credit counseling agency, it'll allow her to see her options that maybe she doesn't even know are available, have education about it. So that way, maybe moving forward, she can make some changes to the way she might be spending or approaching credit cards or credit card debt, and then also have some sort of like walk away with some sort of actual plan.
Oh, no, I really like that idea. I think the only thing I would add is there's some caveats to this. If this person is not like in this cycle, right? Like that, the hurricane, Allison's example of Hurricane Harvey, like if it's not constantly raining debt in your life and you're constantly going in and out of debt, if they're responsible and this was just like a one-off thing and they can still handle types of debt responsibly, then a couple other solutions might be to one, like a personal loan to kind of consolidate credit card debt can be helpful if you can still qualify. So that's the thing. Like if your credit hasn't gotten ruined by this situation, then, if it's ruined, then that's not really an option for you. But if you still have pretty solid credit, even though you're in this situation, you can get a personal loan sometimes and either pay off all or a portion of it with a lower, more stable interest rate. It gives you one payment for that chunk instead of having, like 8 different minimum payments you're making. So that's one option. Or something I did, and you have to be really disciplined. Like you have to know you're not going to pull this credit card out. I heard someone refer to this as credit card roulette one time. And I was like, oh, I like this word. Because basically it is you apply for another. It sounds horrible. That's why you have to be. You have to know yourself. Like, do not do this if you cannot be trusted. Please don't follow this advice if you know yourself and you can't do this. But what you would do is you apply for another credit card that has a 0% balance transfer offer, and you can transfer over, a set amount from a credit card over to this new card. They'll charge you a fee. It's like 3 to 5%, but it's better than, maybe the 25% you're paying on your credit card. And then you free up 1 or 2 cards. There's no longer minimum payments due on those. And then you can start paying down this new balance while you're not paying any interest. And it makes it so much easier to make progress.
Only for a set period of time, not
Yes.
forever.
It's not
You don't
forever.
get 0% interest forever.
Exactly. Key point. It's like you can find 12 to 18 months typically is like the offers you'll see out there. So you got to be disciplined. And what I would do is I would shift my balance. I had like $27,000 in credit card debt at one point, and I would literally like shift chunks of those balances from one card to another. So I don't even know how many cards it was at the end, but I probably did that at least, a couple, like 2 to 3 times, where it's like, all right, this promo's about to be up. Let's shift some of this debt over here. And it really just saved me money and interest. So that way I could pay it off faster and kind of just get done with it. And you just gotta be careful though. I made sure I didn't reuse those cards after I had paid them off. I kind of threw them away to the side and said, here, go sit in this box until I'm done with all of this. But yeah, a couple of options.
Where people who do that, that's where they get caught up, is they start using the card that they shifted the money from.
Yes.
They now have all this money. I've actually talked to one of my friends, and he actually wrote about this couple in my book, Money Made Easy. And so he wouldn't mind me sharing this. My friend Marco and his wife Kendra, he saw credit cards as, when they paid down their balance, he saw it as money he had available to him. It's his money. So like on his Costco card or his Sam's card, if he had a $5,000 limit and he didn't owe anything on it, he saw that as, I have $5,000. And I remember sitting at a table with him and I was like, but you don't. That's not money. But it was just the way he had to reframe it, because he really thought like, well, no, that's my $5,000. And I'm like, no, it's not your $5,000. So anyway, but okay. Logan says, I'm not disciplined, but I'm doing it anyway. I love living on the edge.
So don't be like Logan. But yeah, like that's the thing. Like that's the risk you take, right? Is if you're someone who sees that available room and you're gonna go out and buy something right away, don't do any of that stuff I just said. Ignore everything and stick to Allison's plan and go talk to a credit counselor, because that'll be your best path out of this.
I agree.
Wow, this was our most educational episode of all time.
Oh my gosh, look at us. It's like we're adulting really well right now.
I know, it's so strange. Who are we? Man, we changed the format up and all of a sudden we know what we're talking about sometimes. It's crazy. Well, we're going to take go. You take us a break, Allison. You don't normally do it, so go ahead, take it away.
Well, we're going to take a really quick break and then we'll be back with our listener shout out.
Well done. Look at that. What a sin to break there.
I can't bring us back to break.
Oh, that's true. You can't do that part. My allergies are killing me. My nose is like itching. I'm like, oh.
I'm tired. I'm gonna have. No, I shouldn't have more coffee.
I haven't had any coffee yet.
Oh, I haven't had any lunch. That's probably why I'm tired.
Lunch? It's late for you that I haven't had lunch.
I know, because we started at 12:30 and I ate a later breakfast. So I was like, oh, let me push it back, and we're gonna go see a movie tonight.
Oh.
My mom's gonna have the kids sleep over at her house. Matt and I are going to a movie, and then we're going to Torchy's Tacos. Have you been to Torchy's Tacos?
I have no idea what Torchy's Tacos is.
Oh, love Torchy's Tacos. So we're going to a 5:15 movie.
What are you seeing?
We're seeing The Sound of Freedom.
Oh no, Allison! No,
I know.
No,
I know. I told Matt, I was like, we're gonna go see this movie. He's like, okay. My mom saw it on Wednesday, and here's what she said. She said, I want you and Matt to go see this movie. I'd happily watch the kids, so you can go on.
Don't take that. Don't take that bribe. Don't take that bribe,
and
Allison.
I said, I have a date. She's like, they can even stay the night. I was like, okay. So I tell Matt last night, hey, my mom wants us to go see this movie, and she says she'll take the kids. She's going to take the kids to see Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and
I'd rather you go see that movie.
And she told me that, and then they're going to stay the night at her house. Matt's like, done. Like, anytime you can have a night with me, no kids, like knocking on our door in the middle of the night and interrupting or anything. He's like, sounds great. So then we get the tickets, and I'm like, do you know what this movie's about? He was like, no. And I said, it's about sex trafficking. He said, why? Why are we going to see this movie? I was like, we already bought the tickets.
Here's what you do. You go swap them out for something else and just tell her you saw it and be like, oh, this movie was, I was really touched. This is what you gotta say. I was really touched by the story. I feel like, I'm really happy that they put this out. Boom. She doesn't have to know anything else. Whenever she brings something up, you're like, oh yeah, that was really interesting. And just go see something else.
I honestly, I don't know what to expect. I've heard that there's varying, I don't know. I've heard I've heard, I don't know what to expect. I've heard that there's like conspiracy theories about it, but I don't even know what the conspiracy theories are. Like, I don't know if it pushes some agenda or what.
That's what
I'm
I've
going into
heard.
this very blind.
I've
That's what
heard
you've heard?
I heard it's some very far right propaganda
Is
type of
it? See,
stuff.
I didn't. So all I knew was that it pushes an agenda, but I didn't know what agenda it pushed.
Yeah, it's like some like yeah. Like, I'm sure if we gave Logan 5 minutes to rant, he would give you a full breakdown on what's going on.
Really, I don't know any like what propaganda is it pushing?
Oh,
We won't put this.
yeah, we'll save this. We'll talk after we're done recording. We'll talk about it a
Okay.
little bit
I have
more.
no idea. I'm like, I don't understand like what it would be pushing. Like,
That is not at all what I thought you were going to
is
say when you
Trump
said.
inside of it? Is Trump involved in this?
I don't think he's involved at all. But yeah, we'll save this. We'll save this conversation for later because yeah,
Okay.
it's too much. It's too
Okay.
much for this. It's too much for this.
Okay.
It's awkward.
Okay. Well,
Anyways,
you can bring us back.
all right, I'll bring us back.
Hey, cut this out, Steve. Cut this part out.
Oh man. Okay. Oh. All right, we're back from the break, and we're going to dive into the last segment for the day, and this is our listener shout out, where we just say, hey, to a listener. Like
No,
the way,
we don't just say hey. Stop. We don't just say hey. We say thank you. We say thank you for either writing a review, letting us know that you listen, being part of the Patreon. It's our way of being like, we're here because of you. You helped make this show exactly what it is, and we appreciate you.
exactly. Okay, that's much better than just hey.
That was much better. It's our way of saying, hey,
Hey, what's
happy
up?
Friday.
How's it going?
Happy Thursday.
Well, our hey is going out to two people in this episode. So we have two Patreon anniversaries. Both these people will be hitting 2 years of supporting This Is Awkward on Patreon and joining us in Discord and online and the bonus episodes and all that stuff. And so first one goes out to Shirley, aka Labrat in Discord. 2 years. She'll be hitting that on August 6th. And then Scroggy Mama, 2 years as well. The day after, they joined one day after each other on August 7th. That she'll be hitting her milestone of 2 years. So 2 years, that's a long time to keep listening to us. So
That
we
is.
appreciate it.
And they're very active. So
They are.
thank you for being part of our little Patreon family and joining us live for recordings. And we really appreciate it. Here's to 3 years.
Yeah, exactly. And, a little bit about each of them. So Shirley, I believe we are both in someone else's Patreon. I believe it is It's a Thing, which is a show we both listen to. I think she also might listen to DTNS, Daily Tech News Show, or we're both
Okay.
also. I think we're both also patrons over there. So I always consider her the tech person in our Patreon. I feel like we can have some good tech conversations in there, and we also
Okay.
do a lot of talking in our travel hacking subreddit because we're both looking at those credit card rewards, which don't do if you are struggling with debt. Do not
Not
come
worth
over and
it.
join us there and talk about that. And then
Not worth
Scroggy
it.
Mama, it's really a Scroggy family, right? Like it's not just her.
It is.
It's Scroggy
It's
Daddy, the Scroggy
Mama,
Baby,
Scroggy Daddy. Yep. Yep.
Scroggy Grandma
Girl.
sometimes.
Yes, Scroggy Grandma. Scroggy Mama will play our live recordings up on the TV for the whole family to watch. It's an entire encounter. Her husband, Scroggy Daddy, pretends like he's not paying attention, but
He's watching.
he ends up watching and having some witty comebacks. So shout out not just to Scroggy Mama, but to the whole Scroggy family.
Scroggy family. She's also our cruise aficionado. All things cruise, we learn about from Scroggy Mama. So thank you to the two of you for supporting us and being part of what we do here.
Absolutely. And we are actually, this is an all call for everyone. We are running low on awkward stories, which I know that the world is not running low on awkward money stories.
If Allison's
with
life is an example, we know awkwardness is happening.
There's got to be awkward money stories happening right now that you know about, that your friend is going through, maybe something that you can conjure up from your past. But please, we are running low. We want to share your awkward stories. It's super easy to submit your awkward story. Let's walk through it. First, you go to awkwardpodcast.com. Yes. And then from there, you can either leave a voice recording where you can actually record and we'll hear your voice, or you can type out your story. If that's too much work because you're like, oh, Chrome is crazy, then you can always call us and leave us a voicemail at 707-200-8259 and leave us your awkward story there as well.
Perfect. Follow those instructions and you'll be on a future episode of This Is Awkward. And we're going to get out of here. But we announced this I guess at the beginning of the month at this point, that we are now doing 4 episodes a month. So instead of just being every other week or twice a month, we're doing an extra episode every other week. So making it 4 weeks in a row. And it is the Ain't No Way segment that has turned into its own thing. So we're going to stop recording right now because we're going to get into recording that one next. That'll be in your feeds in a week. So appreciate you joining us here, and we'll talk with you all soon.
See you soon.
Boom.
Okay, that was long.
That was. I think because we added some stuff in there too. All right.
Well, I think it's because we started talking about the movie and stuff. Okay,
yeah.
You ready?
All right, let me start my timer up here for our next one. So we're going to now hop into Ain't No Way. We're still figuring out how to start this one.
Yeah, can you start it? Can you start it, please?
I will. All right, I'm brainstorming here. Get my timer going. All right, there we go. I can watch that. Okay. All right. Welcome back to This Is Awkward, where today we're diving into our new episode format called Ain't No Way. And this is where we scour the internet to see what the 1% is enjoying. What are they putting into their lives that we have yet to enjoy and have be part of our enrichment and our advancement as a society. I don't even know what I'm saying here. I'm coming up with intro as we go. But basically, we scour the internet, we find what these rich people are buying, and we ask each other a series of questions to figure out, is there any way in the world you would purchase this item under a very set group of rules that we've laid out here? So before we even hop into that, my name is Chris. I'm joined here with
Allison. My name's Allison, and I am the person in charge of locating the 2 Ain't No Way things that I'm going to be presenting to Chris. And let me tell you, I'm excited.
I'm really curious because this was like a test run. We've done this twice. This is the 3rd episode of this that we've ever done. And I came up with them both times. And I'm really curious to see what Allison has found. Because as you all know, when we used to do this other format where we would bring in these awkward stories and rate them, Allison was notoriously horrible at finding these awkward stories for us to use in these episodes. But
okay,
I have faith in you when it comes to this.
Thank you.
I have faith in you.
Okay. So the questions, I'm going to explain to you what it is, okay? And then we'll run through the questions, okay?
Now, you want to explain the 4 questions you're going to ask before we get into it?
I'm going to be asking you, would you buy this with like your current amount of money? Would you pay money for this? What's the most you've ever spent on an item that is like this? What's the most you would ever spend on an item like this, like with your current budget? And then if you woke up a millionaire, you have $2 million in the bank, would you buy this at the price it is? Okay.
I am so excited to see these.
So I found, now they don't have this going out right now, but I want to know if you would have done this in the year 2016, or there was also one in 2022.
Okay.
In Iceland, there is a volcano that has not been active in 4,000 years, but it is still a volcano. And you can click on that link there.
Okay, I'm going to click on the link.
The volcano has been dormant for 4,000 years. And you can attend a private concert on the inside of this volcano. So what you do, okay, is you take a 3-kilometer hike, or you take a helicopter ride to the entrance to this volcano. You go down a elevator that's about like an 8-minute ride, and then you're left inside of this large cavern that's like the size of a cathedral, as in the Statue of Liberty can fit inside of there. You're in a volcano. All the walls are like this old like lava.
And there's no lava. There's no real new lava in this cave.
Not in the past 4,000 years there hasn't been. So anyway, so in this chamber, Okay.
Of secrets.
That's where a concert is held. It's this cathedral like space surrounded by rock that once held back an onslaught of molten lava. And they have fully acoustic shows inside the volcano.
This is wild.
Right? You have to descend 120 meters from the north of the volcano. So you literally descend from the mouth, from the opening of the volcano,
So it's like
120 meters down.
It's like 400 feet basically down.
Yes.
Oh,
So,
okay.
okay. Now this volcano, it's very unlikely to erupt, is what scientists say.
Okay.
It's not completely unlikely. It's just very unlikely to erupt. Okay, it's been dormant for 4,000 years. Okay, so I wanted to know if you would. Okay, now here's the price reveal.
Oh yeah, okay. I didn't know the price. I'm waiting for this part.
Okay, sorry. So in 2016, to be able to attend this concert that like 20 people or so can go to.
20 people?
Because you can't have too many people down there, and it's all acoustic, right? It was $1,970 a ticket. So $1,970, but that allows you have to hike the 3 kilometers. It includes the descent into the volcano, the private concert, and then the ascent back up.
Is there food?
No.
So, I mean, I'm assuming it's not quick to get down into this cavern.
I think I was reading it takes like 8 minutes.
Oh, okay. It's not that far. Okay. Is it more expensive if I take a helicopter?
I'm sure it would be more expensive if you don't want to do the 3 kilometer hike. Then I'm sure it would be more expensive.
There is no way my claustrophobia would allow me to go inside of this thing. Like,
so with your current income, with your current budget, would you buy this ticket?
No. I'm not paying money to shove myself into a hole in the ground, in the earth, and potentially die in there. Like, no, I can't do it. This reminds me of, though, I mean, obviously this looks big. It's like a big open space. I don't know how tight the space is to get down in there, but
it's not, it looks tight.
See, I don't know why the TikTok algorithm started giving me these videos for a period of time, but I would get these videos of people who do this, like, kind of like, I don't even know what you call it. Like, I want to say cave diving, but you're not diving into water. It's like you're going into caves and spaces that are like tight, like they're like tiny. Like your body is surrounded, like your entire body's touching these open spaces. Like you're like squeezing into holes. And some of them have like a metal frame that you have to like put your body through first to see if you can fit. Because if you can't fit through that frame, then you're going to get stuck and die inside of these caves. God. And people have died doing this because they take a wrong turn. Because it's like pitch black. They have little lanterns and they're just squeezing their bodies in these crevices.
It's called cave spelunking.
It is, my anxiety hits all-time highs when I see those videos. I can't even take it. I'm nowhere near these caves and I can't even take watching these people. So no, I will not go inside of this this volcano just for that reason. I cannot bring myself to do this.
What's the most you've ever spent on an item like this? That would mean like a concert. What's the most?
Okay. Just a concert in general. Okay, I'll use sporting events in this as well because I have not really been to very many concerts in my life. I think I've been to like one or two.
Sporting event because it's kind of just this entertainment type situation.
Okay, entertainment. I'd say the most I ever spent on a ticket might be, I want to say it was WrestleMania. I think I paid like $350 per ticket.
Okay.
And I think that's the most I ever spent.
What's the most that you would ever spend?
Wait, hold on. Wait, no. What is the most you've ever spent on a concert, Allison?
Oh, gosh. Wait, first you didn't ask me if I would buy this.
Oh, yeah. Let's jump back. I'm going to skip. I'm assuming yes, but would you go pay to be in this hole in the ground?
No. I would not.
I am shocked. This feels like an Allison thing. This feels like something you would do.
It does. Like, I'm very intrigued and I want to do it, but my claustrophobia, number one.
Are we claustrophobia siblings?
I am. My family went on a hike. We went on a hike maybe a year ago, and part of this hike was you could go into this cave. They call it the Icebox Cave because you stand at the entrance of this cave. This is in Texas in the heat of summer. And you can walk into this cave that's really narrow and goes far in. And it's like 55 degrees. And so when you stand at the entrance, it's just like the cool air is coming out. And you go in and it's like you said, like it's above you, but you're really packed in. And I was like, heck no, not happening. I will not do it.
I thought for sure you'd be just, throw me in a cave. I'll go in there. Oh, okay. All right.
No, I would not do it. So I would never buy this. Actually, here's the deal. If I'm going down an elevator and because I've gone into caves before. I've gone into like the Natural Bridge Caverns in Texas. Like I've done
when we went to Niagara Falls and you go down, remember we all went down that elevator and you're like underneath the falls?
Right. I think the thing with this one that freaks me out also is that it's a volcano. And I know it's been dormant for 4,000 years, but that doesn't mean it's going to be dormant today.
Yeah, and exactly.
That makes me nervous as well. I would rather jump out of an airplane with a parachute. Like I would rather go skydiving than go into an active or a dormant volcano, I will say.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
Inside, I don't mind like viewing a dormant volcano from the outside. I don't mind walking along a dormant volcano. It's just the fact that like you're inside, and if God forbid something happens, like you're seeing it right there, and there's no way. At least if I'm on the outside, I could run. I might not get far, but I can run. Like,
exactly. If you're in, it's over. Like you're not gonna get out of there fast enough before the lava gets you. I've seen, was it Dante's Inferno? Is that the movie, or Dante's Peak? Dante's Peak.
Never seen that.
Or what was the other one? There's like two competing volcano movies. I think one was just called Volcano, right? Where they're like it was just like lava in LA or something. But yeah, okay, all right. So what is the most you've ever spent on a concert / sporting event?
I haven't gone to a lot of concerts. I don't feel like I don't go to a lot of concerts, but Matt and I we went to a Dallas Cowboys playoff game in Dallas, and they won. Don't tell me if it was like the first round, the playoff, second round. I don't know. I don't even know who they played, but we won, and we got like more floor seats. Like we were further down, and we spent like $600 each on tickets.
Oh, that sounds right for playoffs.
Yeah, it was really expensive. I'm glad we did it. I will say that my parents had given us like a surprise Christmas gift of like $1,000. And then we ended up buying the tickets for like a week away. So that's what we could have like saved the money. So I don't know if we would have gotten it.
So you might not have done it if it was like all coming out of your bank account.
And that was like a very generous gift from my parents. Like I don't know what they did that year with their finances, but we benefited from it. So, but in terms of how much would I ever spend on a concert on an item like this, like I would say right now, you know what's one of the things I really want to do? I really want to surprise Matt and take him to a Coldplay concert. And I would spend probably like $500 on per ticket for a Coldplay concert. I think I would.
Concerts are getting expensive, so that feels right. That feels like that's what you would expect to pay, anyways.
Yeah,
for
like I don't want to be up in the top nosebleeds. Like I would want to be further down.
Okay, I think for me, I've always said like one time in my life I want to sit courtside at a basketball game. Now those tickets are stupid expensive. Like you're saying really? They're like multiple thousands of dollars, and I can't justify that. But I think the most I'd be willing to pay, like if I can guarantee it's going to be a good game and like it's a meaningful game, like I think I would do one ticket $1,200. I think I'd be willing to spend that much to sit courtside one time in my life. Like I'm not going to do it again. One time in my life, I will do that. I think I can justify it. Like I'll just save up and I'll do it. But yeah, I think I could. I don't know how much higher above that dollar amount I would feel comfortable going.
That makes sense. Okay, so if you woke up a millionaire, would you buy the concert inside a volcano in Iceland?
Ain't no way I would ever, regardless of how much money I have, go in this cave. That's not happening. I am not doing that. No. Mm-mm. No.
Okay.
No, I would spend. I would have season. Well, no, I was gonna say season courtside tickets. That's probably a lot of money if you only have $2 million. Yeah. But I would probably go to like a couple courtside games if I had a couple $1 million.
Yeah.
What about you?
You see, I'm an experiences person.
You are.
I really am. And every part of me wants to be adventurous enough to do this. Every part of me wants to like not freak out, to send myself into a massive volcano, into a cavern that like most people don't get to see. Which, by the way, you can actually go in there just for like $400 a person on a normal tour.
Oh, how
But
kind
we're
of them.
talking about a concert experience, so that makes it even more special. And I bet it would be by candlelight. So if I was a millionaire, I would buy it for Matt. I would buy it for Matt and a friend because I think he would really enjoy it. So I would find a friend that also would not mind dying via volcano, and I would buy it for Matt and a friend to experience that because I think he would love the idea of doing this. He would probably be like, the acoustics are amazing because, he's all into music and stuff.
We were close to the earth. You could feel the music rumble through the core of the earth.
I would not let my husband take one of my children. He's welcome to go.
I like how you're like, I will put only one person in my family at risk of being burned alive in a volcano, and that is Matt. So.
And it's not me, and it's not my children, so it's Matt. But only if I'm a millionaire, because then if he does die in the volcano, we're fine financially.
That's very logical thinking you put through on that.
Yeah. Thank you.
This was a good one. I would have never guessed in a million years this was going to be the first one you picked.
Thank you. Okay, are you ready?
Oh, wait, not yet. We're going to go to a quick break, and when we get back, then we're going to hop into item number 2 because I want to see what this one is. And
you better come back. You better stay because Chris is going to, I found this one for Chris.
Oh, okay. I'm excited for this. Let's not even waste time on the break here.
Okay, do it. It's a good one.
Hold on, wait.
It doesn't have a good,
This is Jan Carlos who said, Allison, if I was rich, I would buy it for my husband, not me or my children. That's true love.
Yes. There you go.
Yeah, you go. Oh, and Logan said it's Dante's Peak and Volcano were the 2 movies I was thinking of. There we go.
Okay, I'm going to warn you that this next one, I don't have a very good description written. So when I'm ready, I'm going to drop the link and I want you to pull it up and we will verbally describe it.
Okay, got it. All right.
Okay, you ready?
You want to bring us back or you going to bring us back?
Yeah, I'll do it. Okay, Chris. This second installment, is that what we're calling it, of Ain't No Way, I found this and I knew I had to bring it today for you. And I knew I wanted it to be the last one, the best one that we would talk about. Okay. So it is called the Death Star.
Okay. All right. I can see why you picked this already by the name.
I put the link in it. It is a West Coast fire pit Death Star. It is the most precise Death Star fire pit on the market. Each pit is built by hand and precision, cut using WCF's unique process. This is the fire pit you're looking for. So this massive fire pit is supposed to look like the Death Star, whatever that is. It's 1/4 inch thick cut carbon steel. It's precision cutting, okay, using advanced manufacturing techniques. No hand cutting, no mistake cutting here. Okay, there's no sharp edges. And it has the ceramic coating is available. The coating is good for up to 2,000 degrees. So if you want to build this really crazy fire, you can. It's wood burning and it has a gas fit insert options available. It's stainless steel and it is quoted at $3,000. For this Death Star fire pit. So Chris, can you describe what this looks like for all of our audio people? And we'll need to put this link in our show notes.
Yeah, you have to see this. Allison did a great job with the description, but until your eyes gaze upon these pictures. So, okay. Imagine the Death Star after it's been partially blown up, basically. It's like the side. Imagine like the Death Star, which is a big orb from the Star Wars movies. You know, the thing that destroys planets and all that stuff. Imagine it looks like it's like partially blown out on one side. The bottom is destroyed, and then the bottom, like very bottom portion of it in the bowl, there's like that's where the pit is, where the fire, like the logs and the fire will go, and it illuminates this entire Death Star. Flames are like flying out of the top of this thing. It is ridiculous. Like there's like giant logs you can fit in this thing. I gotta say,
it looks like it's on fire.
It's
like,
pretty
it's
cool.
Like you blew up the Death Star.
It looks like the Death Star is mid-explosion. Flames are like flying out of this thing. It looks like it's like 3 or 4 feet tall. It looks pretty big. Like this, okay. Allison, this is pretty cool. Like you could not have prepared me. There's even a picture of it looks like a person sitting inside of this thing.
Oh my gosh, yes. You can get a 37-inch one or you can get a 30-inch one.
Yeah, this is massive. Okay, this is pretty cool. You know what? This is pretty cool. I gotta give you this one. Yeah.
So $3,000. I knew you would like this one. $3,000. Would you buy this? Let's say you obviously don't live in an apartment. Let's say you have a backyard.
Burn this on my balcony.
We're gonna pretend that you actually have a backyard here that you can actually keep a fire pit in. Would you buy this for $3,000?
As cool as this is, I could with my current income, I could not spend $3,000 on this. Like this thing is cool. I would take this, but I couldn't bring myself to spend $3,000 on this.
Okay, but here's my question though. What if you were to say like, okay, instead of taking like a really lavish vacation, one vacation this year that maybe could have cost you about $3,000, you invest. This is an investment. I mean, this is the art, right?
Look,
people always talk about investing in art.
The price of Death Stars is only going up.
Would you invest in this fire pit that can bring you joy, can light up your life for years to come?
I can't do it. That's like I considered like 2 courtside games maybe, or even one. Even if I could just go to one courtside basketball game and fulfill that lifelong dream, I would do that before I bought this because $3,000 is a lot of money. But it does also say you can get a wood burning one, which is 37-inch wood burning one is $3,500. But you can get natural gas and propane, and those are basically $4,000.
Price go up. Okay, so
what about you, Allison? Would you buy this? I know your love of Star Wars runs deep. So would you buy this?
Absolutely not. No, I would not buy this. I don't even know what the Death Star is. Is it a planet? It looks like a planet. Is it a ship?
It's kind of like it's like a ship, but it's like a planet. It's like a moon-size ship that can destroy.
Is there cities inside?
It's massive. Like you need like vehicles to get around. It's so big. It's massive. It's the size of like a moon. There's like thousands of people working on this thing. Like working and living on it.
Okay, no, I would not buy this. Now, my second question is, what's the most you've ever spent on an item like this? Now, I know you're probably not the fire pit person who's purchasing fire pits. So maybe think of it like a candle or a lighting source, a lamp. What's the most you've ever spent on something like this?
I'm the wrong person to ask because I do not buy many things. Like I have this IKEA lamp behind me that probably costs $40. So let's just say because I don't remember exactly how much I spent on this. How about I spent $100 by use gift cards on an air fryer.
Oh, that works.
But let's just say
$100 on an air fryer. That's very similar here.
Let's say $100. What about you?
Okay. So we do have a solo stove.
You do.
I love our solo stove. So we have a bonfire size solo stove that we spent, I think at the time we got it, it was like $200. And we use it. We love it. The other day we paid our son. My son's trying to earn extra money because he wants I've talked to you about his PC gaming setup he wants.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And he's trying to earn more money because he wants to eventually get this, I don't know, ridiculous, stupid amount
graphics card.
Of money. What?
He's got to get a new graphics card. Those things aren't cheap.
I don't know what that is. Anyway, he wants a new PC. He wants a gaming PC. So he's trying to earn money. And he's always like, can I do things around the house? And I'll be like, oh, no, the housekeepers are coming Thursday. He's like, they're always ruining my chances to earn extra money. We pay him an allowance. So anyway, we found all of these papers we needed shredded. And so I said, hey, why don't we give all of these papers. They were like papers from Matt's school of like student information and papers from scouts of like health forms. And we needed to shred them.
Mm.
So I told Evan, look, we'll pay you $10 to shred all of these papers. Well, the shredder overheated because it was so many of them. So instead, he burned them in the solo stove. So we did that like 2 or 3 nights ago. So we paid our kid $10 to create a fire and burn things.
He got paid to have a great time. That's what I'm hearing. Because I would love to do that now as an adult, to be paid to go throw papers in a fire.
Well, yeah, it wasn't the exact intention. I was like, wait a minute, he's not supposed to burn it. Like, that's work on us to get it out and start the fire and make sure you. Matt was like, nah, it's good. So, but the most we ever spent on a fire pit was about $220.
That feels fair. That feels like a fair price.
Yeah. Okay, so the next question is, what's the most that you would spend on a fire pit?
Ooh. For this, I mean, Allison, this Death Star fire pit is pretty cool. Like,
I mean, why not? You have a nice house with a backyard. You live in California. Here's the thing about living in California. It's not like living in Texas where we can only go outside and enjoy a fire in a fire pit from the months of November to maybe March. You can enjoy a fire pit night year round, if you will. And for it to be a Death Star fire pit, like I said, this is art. This is an investment. Talk about the number of people you can invite over. And it's a conversation starter for an introvert like you who doesn't really know what to say when you meet people. You automatically have a conversation starter here.
It's like you've seen How I Met Your Mother, right? You've seen that show.
Yes,
I
love that show.
Have you seen the Death Star?
Have you seen my fire pit?
I would. Okay, like as cool as this is, I'm extremely cheap. I think the most I could bring myself to pay them for this work of art would be $500.
Oh my God, this is disgusting.
I do it begrudgingly, but $500 is where I'm capping out right now. Current income on something like this, I $3,000 is just a lot of money. That's a lot of money.
Okay, but think about it. People spend money on really nice paintings. This is better than a painting because it's 3D.
I'm not those people. I don't have $1,000 paintings hanging in my apartment. I can tell you that.
Well, if you woke up a millionaire, you have $2 million in the bank.
Yeah.
Would you buy this?
Drop easy.
Absolutely.
I'm getting the biggest one. I'm getting the one. I want wood though, because I want to be burning stuff. I want to set the fire in there. You could be like, this is the missile, the flame. You light something, throw the flame in there, and that's the missile that blows up the Death Star.
Okay. So millionaire Chris, this is on his list.
Easy buy. Just take my money. Just put it in me. Pre-fill in my information so when I get $2 million, they can just go ahead and take it.
I'll actually take 2.
Yeah.
Give me 2.
One for the front, 2. One for the backyard.
I love it.
Okay, what about you? Well, we didn't ask you. What's the most that you would ever spend on something like this? And if you woke up a millionaire, would you buy this?
Okay, so if the most I would ever spend on a fire pit, if I wanted to have
of this caliber. So for you, it would be, instead of a Death Star, it would be like a toilet. And in honor of that girl who died on the toilet in that movie you love. No, it would be like that. You put the logs in the bowl, and then you like that.
Instead of the Death Star, what would it be?
What are those things called? They called streamliners. Those campers, those metal ones. What are they called?
Airstream.
Airstream. That's what they're called. Streamliners. It's like an Airstream trailer.
Okay, I would spend like today in my current life. I would spend maybe like, I think I'd be willing to see this as like, I'd spend the same amount maybe I would spend on a sofa, like $1,000.
Okay. Because you enjoy the outdoor. You like being outside.
I enjoy the outdoors. If I woke up a millionaire, I would buy this and I would mail it straight to you.
I'm honored.
Yeah, I wouldn't keep it myself. Now, if it was something like a soccer ball, like because my son's really into soccer, like I would buy it like it's a soccer ball version. Yeah. Like I would kind of take like the version that I'm really into, and I would buy it. Like if it was something to do with Harry Potter, I would buy it.
Oh, it was the Goblet of Fire.
Oh, hell yes. Sign me up right there. So, anyway, that was fun.
Yeah, this was a good one. I feel like I'm gonna save this. Like, maybe it's gonna go on sale one day. I have literally no place to put a fire pit. I have no backyard. There's nowhere I could put a fire pit.
Well, what's great for anyone who's listening is they don't just make them as a Death Star. You can also set butterflies on fire or paradise. You can get one with butterflies and you can set the butterflies on fire. So, if you're worried about the effect a butterfly's wings can have on your life and changing the entire trajectory of it, you can get a fire pit and be like, screw you, butterfly effect. I'm going to light this on fire. Do you know that movie?
I do know that movie. Isn't that Ashton Kutcher, right?
I think so. And then if you want to burn down paradise, you can do that too.
Here's the thing, like the Death Star is cool because it exploded in the movie, so it makes sense. These look very dystopian, like burning orb of butterflies. This one is it looks like a flamingo or like a crane on a log and palm trees, and there's just a blaze in the background.
Oh, there's a one. If you go up to shop online, go up, scroll up to shop online.
Shop online.
They have one called West Coast.
These look very bad. Like this does not translate to these other carvings. Let me tell you. Like seeing the really earth on fire.
One in the shape of an earth. Guys, these are great.
These are If you come watch the video on YouTube if you want to see these. Some of these do not need to have been made. Now there's some tiki ones that look kind of cool. Like it looks like a little tiki statue. It's like a cylinder. That looks kind of cool. They're sold out too. They must be very popular.
I don't know. They make these in British Columbia, Canada. I'm impressed. I think it's great. I particularly like the one with the West Coast, California on fire because it's very accurate.
That's just disrespectful.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, look at the flames behind the bear. This is very sad looking. But this is a good one, Allison. You know what? Excellent job with these picks. I love these.
So you'd buy it. So
I would. As a millionaire, no way. No. Sign me up. Rock concert inside of a volcano? Nope, don't want that. But this Death Star fire pit, all day. Yes, I would love to have that thing.
I love it.
Oh. All right, so we've made it to the end of our second time doing this on the main feed. So let us know what you think of these episodes. If you have suggestions, if you're out there on the internet and you come across some ridiculously priced stuff that you want us to discuss here on the podcast, please send us the links. The best way to do it is just go to our website, awkwardpodcast.com. There's a form there where you can normally submit awkward stories. Just use that same form to throw in if you have any randomly expensive ain't no way items you want us to discuss.
Yes, and we'll see you back in 2 weeks for another Ain't No Way, but next week you can catch us on our normal This Is Awkward episodes.
Yeah, we'll see you then.
Bye.
Boom. Perfect.
Did I do good?
That was great. And we're right at 30 minutes on this one.
I redeemed myself.
You really did, Allison. You know what? I'm so proud of you. I'm impressed.
I spent like 45 minutes today looking through and putting things in my notes app, being like, no, I can find something better. Like, I spent way too much time doing this today.
I'm impressed. You're making me, I have to step up my game for the next one now. I got to find some very Allison specific things.
The Death Star, like that was good.
That was good.
That was so good.
I am beyond
I saw that
impressed.
and I was like, absolutely. This one is for Chris. I'm really disappointed that you wouldn't buy this though with your current.
No,
money. I think that's a sad answer. I think it's the wrong answer. To be honest,
$3,000 is a lot for a fire pit. That's just a lot of money. Like if they had a little mini one, like if I can get a little mini one, like a little tabletop one, you put a candle in for like $40. I would do that. All right.
Okay. Maybe they can make that. Okay, you ready to start our Patreon episode?
Yes. Why don't you start this episode? Why don't you bring us in?
Okay. Welcome to the much beloved, the very wonderful This Is Awkward Patreon.
I love that introduction. It was very dramatic.
The music in?
Oh, yeah. Forgot about this. Completely forgot about the music. Thank you.
You're welcome. So we are going to do a What I'm Loving episode because we did remove What I'm Loving from our regular segment. It's honestly hard to find things that we're loving, and it just didn't feel like it fit in. We wanted to make the episodes a tad bit shorter. So we decided that every now and then we'd come here on Patreon and share what we're loving, talk about it.
Yeah, and I'm excited because we have a backlog of stuff. Like when you have time, you can really dive into it. So yeah, I'm really excited for this. I see you have some stuff that I probably, well, at least one thing I also would love. But why don't you kick it up? Why don't you kick us off? Go for it.
Okay,
You got
we'll
more
go
than I
back
do,
and forth
anyways.
for a couple of them. Well, we don't have to talk about all of them.
Okay.
So one of the things that I'm loving is my girls' trip I took this summer. I went with two of my best friends. Every summer we get together and we usually just go to someone's house. We trade off. One of us lives in Austin, San Antonio, and Houston. And so we kind of
He's got like the
just,
triangle of Texas cities going
yeah,
on there.
yeah, it used to be Dallas. Yeah. So we just kind of go back and forth depending on our life circumstances. Like last year, we went to my friend Jessica's house and Amanda had a baby. She had a baby, like an 8-month old or 6-month old baby, or maybe she was younger than that she brought with her. She was breastfeeding and stuff. So it's kind of like our life circumstances depend where we go. There's one time years ago we went to New Orleans for a couple of nights. So last year, Amanda, who has two children that are 4 and under, she said, "Next year I want to get away. Like I want to go somewhere. We're not bringing a kid this time because we always kind of bring if there's a young child that needs to be with mom, we do that." And so we went to one of my favorite resorts, Excellence Playa Mujeres,
You do
which is
talk about that place a lot.
yeah. So me and Matt love that resort. We want to go to the Jamaica one next summer together. We're hoping to be able to do that. So we went for 3 nights to this resort. We left early on a Monday morning. We all flew out of the same. We all drove to San Antonio, where Amanda lives with her younger children. We flew out early Monday morning. We came back Thursday afternoon, and it was so amazing. We read, we drank, we danced, we sent videos to Chris, actually.
You did.
We FaceTimed you.
You did. You FaceTime me with my horrible internet connection at the time. It did not. I think it
Yes.
barely even worked.
Yes, because Amanda listens to our Patreon episodes. I gave her the link to our Patreon feed, and so she was like, "I need to talk to Chris." So we FaceTimed you. We laughed so much on this trip. We kept laughing because we were like, we're ruining so many couples dinners, because we'd be like at dinner and there'd be all these tables of these couples like having these romantic dinners with like rose petals, and we're like a table away just laughing really
At the
loud.
top, as loud as you can.
Yes. It's just different going with your friends. Like we had women come up to us and they were like, "Oh my gosh, are you doing a girls trip?" And we're like, "Yeah." And they were like, "I wish I was on a girls trip." They were like with their husband, like on their honeymoon. It's just more fun. I don't know. It's just more fun. It's just a different kind of fun. But it was really great. We enjoyed it. It was wonderful. Next year we're not going to go international. We'll still get away, but we'll probably just keep it somewhere local in Texas.
This is the
But
place. I put it
it
up
was
on the screen here. The Excellence Playa
yeah.
Mujeres.
Yes, we
It looks
went
beautiful.
snorkeling. It was beautiful. We went snorkeling. We read books. We were in bed every night by like 10:30. It was just wonderful.
That's the dream as someone in their 30s. Oh, have a good time during
Oh
the day,
my
but I'm not out past 10 o'clock. I'm back in, relaxed and comfortable.
Exactly. Amanda, who has the young kids and never gets sleep, she slept straight through the night. Like it was fabulous. So that's what I'm loving. I'm loving my yearly girls trip that I do with them. We've been doing it. I think we took off the year of 2020, obviously. And I don't know if we took off 2021. No, we didn't take off 2021. So we took off the year 2020, but we've been doing it since, I would say 2012.
Oh wow, that is
Maybe
a long time.
2011. We have. We started this right when we were like in college or out of college. We took a couple years off in between, like maybe 2 or 3 years off. And then we've been consistently doing it every single year since 2012, minus 2020.
That's a good
And
commitment.
then,
It is hard to get
yeah,
friends to commit to do something once, let
it
alone
is.
for 20 years or 20 years,
Yeah,
10
and it
years.
helps that it's just 3 of us, so you're only working with 3 schedules. We don't go for, like, a whole week. We'll do, like, 2 to 3 nights max, and what we've started doing, because we had issues getting all of our schedules aligned, is while we are there, we block off a week of next year's summer. So while we were there, we looked at our calendars and we said, what week do we want to do this? And we just block off Monday through Friday because it's easier for, they're both teachers, so we can get away during the week.
Oh, that's perfect.
And in the summer, exactly. And then when we move forward making our vacation plans, we make all of our vacation plans around that girls' trip.
That's such a smart
Yeah.
idea. I'm jealous of that organization. I
Yeah.
like that. That's a great idea. That's a great way to do it.
Well, it's because like 2 years ago, I did the thing where I took the screenshots of my calendar and I had highlighted everything. I was like, here's when I'm not available. And Amanda was like, we're not doing this again. We're not letting it get to this point because they were all working around my crazy travel schedule.
Yeah, because you do just leave basically. You're like, I'm not gonna live at home for the summer. I'm just gonna go somewhere.
That's the goal in Texas. I mean, yeah. What I want to do is when my kids graduate high school and when really Matt's done teaching is I want to like physically move away for
Oh,
like at least July, August, and into September. Like I want to physically leave, maybe even June.
I would love to do that. I want to. Like one of the things I want to do is I want to live in San Francisco for like 1 month a year. Like I would love to do that.
Why don't you do it?
I mean, because I'm kind of would be paying like rent twice for one
Oh,
month.
yeah.
But I'm thinking,
You
I'm
could
trying to
do
figure out how
it
to do
if
it.
you know what you should do is if you ever move, if you're ever like, okay, I'm going to move apartments, you should put your stuff in storage for 1 month. And
Mm.
in between moving into your new apartment, you should rent out like a furnished, like 1 month lease in San
Ooh,
Francisco.
I'm thinking
And
that.
then you're not paying rent in two places. You're just paying
Yeah,
for a 1 month storage unit.
that's true. Like see these people where I can live these nomad lives, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to do that like all the time, but like for period,
Yeah,
like chunks of time, that'd be nice. Especially if I know someone who lives in the area, like that would be
exactly.
okay. You're inspiring me,
Exactly.
Allison. I might do that. I might do something like
There
that.
we go. Okay, what's
Okay.
something you're loving?
All right. So we're gonna play the game that we used to play, where I have you guess what this is.
The
So,
heck is this?
well, go ahead and read it. Go ahead and read. It's the first one on my list there.
Okay, it's called Dungeons and Daddies, which feels dirty. Dirty Dungeons and Daddies. That's what it feels like. Okay, Dungeons and Daddies. I think, do you remember that show? Like, okay, here's what I think this is. I think that this is a movie or some sort of TV show. And it's about all of these dads who are having like a midlife crisis. And they're like, who am I? Like, I don't want to be, like I'm not my job, I'm not my family. Like I'm a dad now, so I'm having trouble identifying who I am as a person. So they all start playing Dungeons and Dragons and they
Mm.
meet up kind of like women meet up like every month to play bunko or whatever that is, or they meet up for girls night or happy hour once a month. Like these dads meet up and they play Dungeons and Dragons, and we in the process of this TV show or this movie, whatever this entertainment form is, we learn about their lives and the happenings going on in their lives, and we really emotionally connect to these daddies while they play Dungeons and Dragons.
That was a beautiful description. It's not okay. It's wrong, but it's not
Oh,
so far off. So I'll give you credit for that. You paint some beautiful pictures, Allison. I have to say, you really
you.
do.
Thank you. It's my imagination.
I kind of would be
People
interested in
always
watching
say
it.
I live in I've always had my head in the clouds, and I'm like, you should join me up here because it's fun.
Well, this is a podcast,
Okay.
and essentially they're playing. You were very close. It's a Dungeons and Dragons podcast, but they
Uh-huh.
play dads basically in this world. So essentially, it's kind of like a mixture of Dungeons and Dragons, kind of like improv, and then kind of like a storytelling type podcast, like a narrative type
Okay.
podcast. They've kind of like blended them all together. So I think there's 5 people in total who are in it. There's 4 people who are like playing the characters, and one person who's like the dungeon master, the person like running the show. And I have no like connection to Dungeons and Dragons. I've never played it in my life. I've never really seen
I thought you
much of
did.
anything.
Oh,
No,
that's Dragon Ball Z.
Dragon Ball Z. I used to watch that, but no, I've never played it, so I didn't really know too much about what this is all about going into it. But I don't even know how I came across this podcast. I don't know if it just got
Is that
recommended
the
to me.
one? Is that the one about those worlds and you take over worlds and regions? Is that what Dungeons and Dragons is? Or is that
Dungeons and
that other
Dragons
one?
is like a role playing game based on dice rolls, and you're kind of like going through like different dungeons. Basically, essentially, is kind of what it is.
Okay.
Um,
Then that's not what I'm
no,
thinking of.
that's not what
Okay.
you're saying.
I think I'm thinking of like Catan
Oh
or
yeah, it
something.
kind of sounds like a of Catan type of thing, which I've never played that
Okay.
either.
I've never
Um,
played that. Or it kind of sounds like that board game that Ben made on Parks and Rec.
oh, Cones of like Dunshire or something like that.
Oh, yes. Yes.
It does kind of sound like that. But no,
Okay.
this podcast, couldn't even tell you where I came across this, but I remember like specifically, I was driving to a friend's new apartment. They were in like a housewarming thing. They lived in Rancho Cucamonga, which is a funny sounding city name, and it's like far from where I live. It's like an hour
Okay.
away. And I don't know how I came across this, but I just listened to it. And I just picked, there's 2 seasons of it now. And I just started on the second season for some reason. And I was like, this is really funny. Like, this is really good. Like, I'm kind of getting into this. And I just started listening to it. And I got to like, caught up to where they were. They were like on episode 30 by the time I caught up to them. And I was like, maybe I should just start from the beginning. So over the course of like the past year, I went back to the
Oh, wow.
beginning, listened to the whole first season. I joined their Patreon because I liked it so much. So then I get like their
Wow.
episodes, they talk about making it. And essentially these 5 people, they're all like writers. They're all screenwriters or like directors. So they're like, but they're
They're
like,
on strike.
yeah, they're,
So they have more time to make this.
well, they started this podcast 4 years ago. So
Okay.
I haven't caught up to current time, so I don't know how I'm sure they'll be talking about the strike once I get caught up
Yeah.
to where the strike actually happened. But what it is like, they're not all like so famous that they're like they wouldn't be doing this, but they're all like one of them. There's a guy named Freddie Wong. I remember him back in the day. He used to do these crazy like detailed visual effects YouTube videos, and he was like
Oh,
known for like being like really good at Guitar
the
Hero.
magician?
No,
No.
no, he would do like basically like make like little short movies essentially on YouTube. They were like really
Okay.
highly produced, like well done with great visual effects for something that was done like independently. And then
Okay.
like the other 2 guys did with him like this thing called Video Game High School. Like so, like all these people were like writers. Some of them wrote video games. They've done a bunch of stuff. So the show was really well done because they're really good at writing. Like they know how to craft a story
Oh, so
and like
yeah.
really edit it well. But yeah, it's basically the story of like these 4 dads who get pulled through this portal and they lose their kids and they have to go find them. Like that's the premise of the first
Oh,
season.
it's kind of like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Yeah, kind of like instead of trying to find your
That's
kids,
what it is.
you're
It's
finding.
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, but they lost them in a portal,
Yeah, they all go
and
through
now
the
they have to
portal
find them.
together, and now they got to find their
Okay.
kids, and it's just really well done. And like the second season is like the grandkids of those original fathers. So
They
it's
lost the grandkids too.
well, no, I can't
Right.
spoil it for you. It's a continuation of the
Okay.
story, but it's just a really funny show. Like the tagline is "Dungeons and Daddies, not a BDSM podcast," because that's what it sounds like it is.
Oh, that's funny.
But yeah, this is what I'm loving. I've been like binging this thing like
Okay.
crazy. Like they do a really great job putting out all this bonus stuff, and yeah, I'm just a huge fan of that show.
Okay. So I'm trying to think about because I don't want to talk. We don't have enough time. How much time do we have left?
We're about almost at the halfway point
Okay,
right now.
so we each have one more. Okay. The next thing I want to talk about is what I'm loving is someone, and you can't click on this, and don't click on that link yet. Did
Okay.
you click on a link?
I didn't click on
Did you
anything
click on a
yet.
link? Okay. Is Patrick Botticelli.
Is okay. When I hear Botticelli, I was like, isn't that like an opera singer or something?
Is that who you think it is?
I mean, I have no idea who this is, but that's the first
Okay.
thing I think of.
So Matt says, what he'll say to me is he'll say, I'm hearing Patrick's voice too much in your Instagram. Like he knows Patrick's voice because I'm on my like personal Instagram. He's just always showing up in my algorithm. And you can click on his link.
Okay,
his
I'm gonna click
Instagram
on it
link.
now.
This is his personal page, but he is also the like one of these head people at Colonial Airstream in like
Oh,
New
God.
Jersey or New York or something. But he makes he goes through
Oh.
and reviews all of these like camper vans and Airstreams and RVs and tiny homes
Oh,
and
my
everything
goodness.
like that. But if you go to his Colonial Airstream is also another Instagram handle.
Is that
He
one up here too for me to
walks
click?
through- No, it's not. You just need to type in Colonial Airstream right up there. But he walks through all of these Airstreams for sale at his dealership, and it's
Oh.
just so wonderful. So I found him through Colonial Airstream, and he does these really, really quick tours. And then I started following him personally, and personally, he'll find all of these cool people that have built their own vans or are living in these kind of weird ways, and then he tours it. So like I know his voice. Like as soon as something comes up, I'm like, "Oh, that's Patrick." But I love looking at his videos.
This sounds pretty cool. Okay, like I had a pretty long obsession with tiny homes for a while,
Yes,
and
you
this
did.
sounds like
I'll
right
find a
up.
YouTube link for you.
Okay, give me a YouTube link. I can play it in the background. So,
Yes.
okay, is there a Botticelli who's like an opera singer or something?
I don't know. Here is his where do I put this, Chris? I'm gonna put it here. Here is his
Oh, it's a painter.
YouTube. New Jersey Outdoor Adventures. So click on that link and you'll see he has 325,000 subscribers on YouTube.
He's doing something right. New
But
Jersey
you can
Outdoor
even just
Adventures.
go to his shorts. Yeah, and just go to his like shorts because you'll see those are where his
Hello,
reels
this is
are.
Patrick with New Jersey's Outdoor
Oh,
Adventures.
that's
YouTube.
him. That's my Patrick.
Oh my god.
He's like this middle-aged white man who I don't know, kind of reminds me of Matt. But go to his shorts. Look at
Okay,
some of
go
his
to
shorts.
Which one of
You'll
these one?
see how he like.
You
I
care
don't
which one I
care,
click?
Either one of them. Do the one with his legs. Live,
With his legs,
live like
okay.
a rock star. Yeah, because he goes through, but he like just takes you really quickly on these tours. I don't know if this one has any words or anything, but it's of Airstreams or just really interesting like camping vans. Like I tell you what, when I am like putting on my makeup or cooking dinner, I'll watch like YouTube camper van like
I mean, this one is
layouts
really
and stuff.
nice. The one he's showing right now. Like this is beautiful.
Yeah, I know. I like that one.
I wonder
That
how
one's
much
like
this
the
thing is.
20, oh, I'm sure it's like over $120,000.
Are you kidding me? For this?
No. The one I
120,000?
want. You want me to show you the camper van I want me and Matt to have?
Yeah, let me explain this to you. Let me explain this to them while you bring that up. Like this thing is probably the size of just like a typical Airstream, right? There's a bedroom, there's like a bathroom, a shower, a table, a couch, a little kitchen area. It's not very big. If this is $120,000, I don't need to be anywhere near these. Yeah, it's an Airstream. I mean, it's not.
Yeah,
It's beautiful,
Airstream.
but $120,000.
You are so cheap. You won't spend $3,000 on a beautiful Death Star fire pit.
I'm sorry, $120,000.
You won't come on.
That is too much money. I want to know how much this thing costs. That's what I want to know. I'm sure it's not cheap. But go ahead. What were you gonna say?
Look at the thing. Look at the caption.
Oh wait, there is no caption on this. It says "Live like a rock star" is what it says.
Okay, so this is
I'm looking up how much are Airstreams while you bring that up.
here is the link. This is the camper van that I have decided Matt and I are going to have when our kids are no longer living with us. Van. But I found this one specifically because one of the beds is 80 inches long. You see, Matt's height really puts a strain on my life.
He's limiting your possibilities right now.
He really is because he is 6'4". How many inches is that?
76.
Yes. So most camper beds are 76 inches long. Now this camper van
I can't even with
has
this.
2 twin beds. One of the beds is 80 inches long. You see that one there on the left? It's 80 inches long. That's where he could sleep. And then I could sleep on the other one that's 75.
Okay, for people who are listening to this, the word bed is being loosely applied. It's being very liberally applied to what they're showing on screen. That is a couch cushion. That is a couch that is 80 inches long that you would be laying on. That is not a bed.
This is what I want me and Matt to get whenever we're retired. And we can literally just like drive up to Canada. We can drive to, we could go anywhere we want. We can stay in like dispersed camping or like BLM land.
Okay, hold on. Wait. Okay, just quick side note. Did you watch the White Lotus, right?
Yes.
Remember there was that guy that Jennifer Coolidge was dating, and he was like, "Oh, I work for BLM," and she was like, he works to support Black Lives Matter."
Oh my
He works for
gosh.
the Black Lives Matter
I don't
organization.
remember that. But it
When you
stands for
said
Bureau of Land Management.
that's what he worked for, but when you said that, I was like, "You're gonna say a Black Lives Matter land? Where is that at?"
No.
Okay, anyways, keep
Bureau of
going.
Land Management. But this is what I want. So I have researched so many camper vans because this one has a black tank, meaning that you don't have a cassette toilet. You have a regular flushing toilet that you empty just like you would in an RV. Most camper vans don't have that. You have to have a compost toilet, or you have to have some sort of like dry toilet. I don't want that. I want to be able to use the toilet and flush it. This one also has the 2 twin beds that is 80 inches long. The reason why it does that is the beds go like from the front to the back instead
They're
of side
couches.
to side.
They're couches.
It's a bed. It makes into a king size bed. So
Imagine,
anyway, this
like,
is what I want.
Allison, when
And
I was a kid, and I stayed at my cousin's house, what we would do is we would push 2 couches together, and they made a bed. That is what this is. This is two couches pushed together, and you're calling them a bed.
Listen, this is what I want. I want this, and I want to go like up to, Glacier National Park. I want to go up to all of these different places from the months of June to September, maybe just like July to September. And I want to be able to camp and not have to hook up, see all of this. It has full air conditioning. You can take this off of repeat now.
Okay, I thought you want to keep saying.
No.
Now, before you even go any further, please tell everyone that the ridiculous price that I can see on screen, but those listening have no idea what this costs.
Now, I want you to remember, this is an investment. Okay.
Okay.
It is now brand new, which I would not buy this brand new. I'm not that stupid.
Okay.
It's $184,000, but I would be willing to get one that is really used. See, by the time I'm wanting to get this model will be really cheap. I'm like, oh, we could probably get it for like $80,000. So, or $70,000. I don't know. So anyway, it is expensive. Matt just nods his head and says, okay, honey. And that's pretty much it. Like he doesn't push down my dreams. He's learned that does not work well, because if he's like, that's never going to happen, then I'm like, watch me. You watch me. So he doesn't do that, which is great. But yeah, I've been wanting that for a while.
That is that's something. That price tag, like, I'll describe it a little bit more. It's basically like those vans, like a Sprinter van size vehicle, right? Like, and it has like in the very back there's a toilet and there was a shower back there too, right? I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
And a closet, wardrobe.
There's a air quotes closet in there. I mean, it looks nice. Like, that seems like it's an easy way to get out and go camping. Like, cause you like, it's compact. It's the size of like a regular vehicle versus like these Airstreams, which I looked up, Allison, and my jaw is on the ground because they start, the smallest little tiny one is 74,000. They go up to 188,000.
But you wouldn't buy that new.
Ooh.
Like, I would never buy one brand new.
Oh, these prices are, my whole body is cringed up looking at these
Well, I
prices.
know you won't even buy a $3,000 fire pit. Like,
Where
when
are my
I say
priorities?
I like to spend money. I like to spend money.
You do. Hey, if you're gonna do it right, I guess.
Thank you. So maybe one day that's what I'll get. But I told Matt, I said, I also realize that this might be something that I think is cool and I'll actually hate. So one of the things I want to do is I want to do a getaway with him where we like fly to Colorado and we rent a camper van for like 4 nights. Like, just
you don't want to
me and
drive one
him.
from Texas? Like, rent one there and drive it over?
So the issue with doing that is, and you could, but like typically you can only go like 100 miles a day before you have to pay more.
Okay.
So it's almost just worth it. Like, some of these places, they'll like literally pick you up from the airport and they'll bring you to their place and they'll teach you how to use it and everything. And then you just bring it back and they'll shuttle you back to the airport when you're done.
Oh,
so
nice.
I kind of want to do something like that where I can try it out. And that way I could be like, this is nothing you ever want to do, Allison. And then if that's the case, I'll stop obsessing over it and watching all these videos. But right now I can't stop watching the videos or Patrick Botticelli's Instagram or YouTube videos. So
Look,
That's
I
what I'm
understand.
living.
I was obsessed with tiny homes too. I still kind of am, so I understand it. So, all right,
Yeah.
I accept that.
Okay, great.
All right. So my last thing here to wrap us up, it's kind of like a 2-in-1. It's a co-working space / my like mobile office I've kind of been putting together. So I've been working from home for a while now, and I love it. It's great. I can roll out of bed and just walk over here. I feel very fortunate to be able to do that. But something I never thought I'd ever experience is, you know what? I kind of want to work somewhere else. I kind of need to get out of here. Like I'm in my apartment way too much. Like there were days, there was like a week stretch where I just never left. Like I had food here. I got up, worked, ate here, didn't really go outside. I was like, this is not healthy. I should not
No, it's not.
be doing this. And I needed to get out. So I was like, you know what? Let me look around. And so I found some co-working spaces nearby and I went to try one out. And I was like, oh, this is kind of nice. And the people were cool there. They had like a networking event that I went to. And I was like, oh, you know, people are nice, cool space. And then like the best part is like there's like a coffee shop in front. If you get a membership, you just get free drinks. So you just get whatever you want off the menu to drink for free with your membership. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it. So
you signed up?
I signed up. I've been going there for like maybe like a little over a couple weeks now, almost a month now. And yeah, it's been really great. Like people were cool. They had like events, they had like a Chat GPT workshop that they put on with a guy there. And like I learned actually some really cool like tricks on how to use it for work. So yeah, it's like they've created like a little small community that's really nice.
That's neat. I want to know how much you pay.
I pay $200 a month and I can go.
That could be the monthly payment for an Airstream.
Let me tell you this:
your free coffee.
Your $180,000 Airstream is going to have higher payment than $200 a month. Let me tell you that.
Well, I'm not buying it brand new, but okay. So you said $200 a month.
$200 a month, and I can go 2 days a week, all day if I want. Yeah, and then that's what these cost. It's actually one of the more reasonably priced ones that I've seen around here.
Gosh,
but that's what these spaces cost.
You get your own dedicated space?
No, you can go sit at a table and find a space there.
Are we going to give Amanda a shout out on this episode?
Yeah. So Allison, when she was on her girls trip that she mentioned earlier, when she FaceTimed me, I was at this co-working space, so I stepped outside to take the call, but the reception outside was horrible. So I was like, I kept breaking up. So what I did was I was like, oh, they have these like booths. They have these soundproof booths that you can go in and like to take calls. So I went in there and I was like, oh, I have Wi-Fi. We're great. And they were like, where are you at? And I explained where I was. And Allison's friend Amanda, who gave me the great nickname for Allison, which is Megaphone, she could not wrap her mind around where I was and what I was doing. She thought I worked only in this little booth. Like I was in this little booth. You pay to go in there, like at the airport, those little quiet booths. She thought that's where I was. And so I had to explain multiple times that no, this booth is in a bigger room where I can work. I'm not working inside this tiny booth for like hours at a time. But that was pretty hilarious.
But then she was like, but he's paying to go to a place to work. Yes. And I'm like, yeah. She's like, he's paying money to go somewhere to do work. They don't pay him to come and do the work. I was like, no,
I don't work for them.
To have a place. She's like, is there not a Starbucks or a library? Like, I don't understand. Why doesn't he just go to a Starbucks or a library? He's not using his money wisely. Like, I'm concerned about him. Like, she was like, you're saying he gets nothing. He goes there to just do his own work.
Yeah.
They don't pay him to come there to work. I was like, no. And then she thought you were going to a place that the name of it was co-working space.
Yeah, she thought the name of the business was co-working space.
It was really funny.
It was a good. I was like, I did not know that how much detail I was going to have to explain this co-working space, but no, but it's awesome. Yes. If there was I think if there was a large library close to me, there's not really like a big library near me. And I need somewhere with like good, reliable internet so I can get some work done. And this place has been great. And also I get coffee. So it's like all in one. I can't really work at a Starbucks. It's just too loud and there's too much stuff going on for me to work at a Starbucks. I've tried it before and I'm like, it's too chaotic in here for me.
So you go to a place where other people are sitting all around you having conversations?
Well, sometimes people talk, but for the most part, it's pretty quiet in there.
Okay.
I think overall it's pretty quiet in there. Like it's on the noise level compared to a coffee shop is like drastically lower.
Okay,
so,
I was going to say, so you can't handle going to Starbucks, so you pay to go to a coffee shop with a back room.
I imagine like a big space, like 5% of it is the coffee shop and 95% is the co-working space.
Okay.
Like it's
now
both.
I would love to sign up for a co-working space for the summertime when my kids are home.
Oh yeah, it's like
Because
good to
I
get
don't know
out.
if you've noticed that, but as we've been recording, I've had to look through my glass door and I've had one of my children come by no less than 10 times. I even texted him and said, "What do you want?" Earlier when we were recording, I don't even think you saw this. Another kid came in and talked to me
Oh yeah, I saw the
and I'm
arm
like,
wave in front of the screen.
yeah. So, I mean, needless to say, I could benefit for at least a couple months out of the year from a co-working space.
Just saying, just saying. It's been good. Also, it's been extremely hot here. Summer's finally hitting us, and I don't have
Oh, and you don't have
AC,
AC.
and so going
Oh,
there is like a nice, cool spot. But we're running out of
that makes
time, so
sense.
I just want to. My last part of this is my mobile office. So I've built
Oh, yes.
this together because I have a laptop, I have a MacBook that I use when I'm out working. But here's the thing, maybe for you, Allison, being as short as you are, it's at eye level when you sit in a chair. When I'm
Yes, it
sitting
is.
down at a table, the laptop is way lower than my eyes. So I'm like hunched over, like typing on this thing, and my back was like killing me. I was like, I can't, I can't keep doing this. So I bought a few things to help me out, right? So one, obviously,
Okay.
I already have my laptop, right? My MacBook, little
You
MacBook
didn't have to
Air.
buy that, right?
Didn't have to buy that. First thing was, I need a little stand. So I found this thing. I think it's called a rooster stand, and basically, here it is. Comes this little sleeve.
Oh,
Inside of here, it's like a little foldable stand, and you open it up and your laptop sits on it, and you can adjust the height.
is it like sturdy?
Yeah, it's very sturdy. So it's like little rubber feet on it. Here it is right here outside of it. If you may want to come watch this video later on, but it folds up like this, but you take it and it spreads out like this, boom, and it becomes a very stable stand that your laptop sits in,
Wow,
and it raises
that
your
is
laptop.
cool.
Yeah, it raises
That's
up to eye
cool.
level. So I got this first, but then obviously, let me close this back up. Bam, gets all small. Now you can't type on your laptop because it's in the air, so you can't type on it anymore. So
Oh
then
my god.
I was like, well, I need an external keyboard. So what I'm using now is, well, there we go. This keyboard here that I got, it is uh-oh,
Uh-oh, you turned off your camera.
I turned off something.
Your technology is turning on you.
It's turning on me. I think I must have changed my camera. Hold on, let me switch this back.
Oh my gosh.
Oh no, I did. Oh, my camera died. That's what it was. The battery died. Oh well, here, you're gonna get my webcam now. So
Okay.
it's gonna look much worse quality. But
That's
this
like
is
my
the
camera. I use a webcam.
I know, I gotta step down to Allison's level. This one here is called the Newfie Air. It's a mechanical keyboard here.
Yep,
And it's
there's
like nice
his
and
keyboard.
compact. Nice little listen to the sounds. Oh, nice little clickety clack there. So I got that.
People love hearing that while they're in the co-working space next to you.
I was
So
actually
they
really
really appreciate your clickety clackety clockety keyboard.
I was actually really concerned about that. I was like testing out the sound. I was like asking people, all right, is this too loud? And everyone was like, no, it's not bad. Like in a big room, you don't really hear
It
it.
is.
But get out of here.
People think it is. Okay, go on.
Whatever. And then the last thing I got, because I'm
the one
really
So excited about.
I'm like once you move to two screens, you cannot go back to using one single screen. Allison knows. I convinced her to get a second monitor.
And I regret that decision.
You can't go back. You have all this room, this real estate to work with. So I needed something for when I'm on the go, because obviously I'm not going to detach a monitor, bring in power cables and all this stuff. So I got this thing here, which is bigger than my actual laptop. It's like a 15-inch portable monitor. And this little cover is like the little stand as well. So you use this to prop your monitor up. And all you need is one USB-C cable, and it powers it and sends a video to it. So all I have to do is plug my laptop into the wall to get power, and then I plug my monitor into my laptop, and then boom, there you go. I got two screens rolling with me while I'm on the go.
So, all in all, Chris spent $400 to create his mobile office that he loads up in his duffel bag or his suitcase.
It's a backpack, a small
Every
backpack.
2 days, only 2 days a week, where he pays $200 a month to be able to go sit next to people that he doesn't know and annoy them with his clickety clackety and get work done when he could have been getting work done from home.
Sometimes you got to shake up your environment. I found that I was just like,
I agree.
I was getting like burnout, and I would get like distracted being here. So it's helped me get more work done, because I'm like, well, I've paid for this. I'm no longer at home, so I better get this work done, because it was a waste of time and money for me to do this.
Yeah. People have asked me, like, how do you focus when you're at home for work? Like, how do you not just like watch TV or do housework? And
yeah.
I'm like, The only reason I'm able to focus in the school year is because I literally have a limited amount of time.
Once it's
Only
over.
have from the time I drop my kids off to I pick them up. Like I have a very set schedule that I have to work in. I think if I didn't have that, I would be like, I would need something to like almost like remove myself from everything else in my home that's pulling at my attention to work.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. Because like it is one of those things where it just sometimes you need that separation, right? But for you, you have that timeline, you have a deadline that makes you have to get your stuff done.
Exactly. So I have this other force, this other like thing breathing down my neck. It's called 3 p.m. pickup, right? And that keeps me on track. And I have a reason that I have to wake up every morning and get started because I have to take, kids to school or get them ready for the bus or whatever. Like I have these set things. In the summertime, it's a lot harder because I don't have this set things. And I have a lot of distractions in the form of children.
As someone without kids, I just get up whenever.
Yeah. No. Never heard a more privileged statement from you.
I just wake up when I want to, go to sleep when I want to.
Spend my money how I want to.
It's pretty great. I buy Death Stars.
What I want, when I want. I don't have to screen movies before I go see them.
Yeah. You know what? My third, what I'm loving is not having kids. There we go. We'll end this episode.
Yes. Well, I'm sure Scroggy Mama and Scroggy Daddy will appreciate that. One
of the best things I ever bought was not having kids. No.
Oh, I thought you were going to say something else.
No, I as I started that sentence, I was like, I know where this sentence could go, and I need to just shut this off before it goes there.
On that note, thank you so much for joining us for our special What I'm Loving Patreon episode. We hope that you're finding things that you're loving and share in the Discord anything that you're loving. We'll try to put those links in the chat for you if you want to check out any of Chris's unnecessary technology.
Very necessary gear.
Oh my gosh, this was fun.
All right, so we'll see you all later, and appreciate you joining us. Actually, well, when you're here listening to this, you already know when this gets released, but because we have now an episode pretty much every week of the month, this one, we're probably going to move this to a different date when we'll release it. So instead of being Wednesdays, because there's already an episode on a Wednesday, maybe we'll put it on like a Monday. So you have like an extra, like 2 episodes in a week, essentially.
Okay.
All right, so little housekeeping for you all, if you notice it shifts around a little bit. Yeah.
Okay, and then the next time we are recording, I don't know, is
Friday,
August 18th.
Got it. And then we're doing it at the same time, so it'll be again at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 2 p.m. Eastern Time.
Yes, but we have to be quicker because I have to leave because we can't go over like we did today.
Yeah, we got to keep it a little bit tighter. Maybe we'll start a little bit earlier. Maybe I'll wake myself up.
Oh,
we'll start earlier.
Maybe will. Maybe I'll have my kids call you nonstop until you wake up.
Let's not do that. Let's not.
Okay. Bye, guys.
We'll see y'all later.